Plenty. Threats, professor letters. ABA drafting formal Kondemnation. Bondi didn't flinch. Let them. Yet behind closed doors, tensions emerged. Some within her circle worried about excessive aggression, rapid pace. One advisor questioned that afternoon, "What if they call your bluff?" She stared momentarily. They tried. They lost. In Flagstaff, federal magistrate Harold Cade watched coverage during lunch. 32 years on bench without making headlines, suddenly uncertain that anonymity served well. He pushed his tray aside, muttering, "We shouldn't be famous. That's our job." His clerk whispered, "Do you think they'll target others?" Kincaid hesitated. "I think they've recognized judges don't counterattack." Meanwhile, Roberts convened second emergency judicial council, not to speak but listen. He sought ground-level perspectives. Dozens nationwide sent written statements, recordings, private memoranda. Some pleaded for unity, others warned silence appeared arrogant. One message stood out from recently retired Kansas District Judge Ronya Kellerman: "You can't win publicity wars with robes and silence. If we want renewed public faith, they must witness our struggles, not just our rulings." Roberts read it repeatedly, then drafted something extensive, a speech for American Bar Association. Untelevised, unfiltered, just judges, lawyers, consequential words. He took stage 2 weeks later in Minneapolis before packed room. He bypassed pleasantries. "I've been asked why I didn't respond sooner. Truthfully, I hoped it would pass. It hasn't, perhaps shouldn't." He paused, surveying attendees. When judges lose public trust, we forfeit more than legitimacy, we lose purpose. Judicial independence isn't criticism shield but discipline promise. Breaking that promise warrants scrutiny. No cameras captured this, no applause followed, just quiet nods, scribbling pens. In Washington, Bondi watched grainy livestream on tablet. Neither takedown nor celebration, something different. She closed screen, whispering, "He finally appeared." Later, she met privately with several state attorneys general, not pitching policy or waving banners but asking, "What happens when law forgets its purpose?" They didn't immediately answer, but the question lingered. By spring, Boasberg faded from headlines. Though not formally resigned, it hardly mattered, his career permanently altered. His rulings would forever carry this episode's shadow. Roberts changed too. He attended more public legal forums, not defending courts but explaining them, reminding people justice wasn't abstract concept but weight carried by fallible individuals. Meanwhile, Bondi moved forward. Circuit Court judge shortlist reached her desk. But while Bondi planned next moves, Americans questioned, was this accountability or conquest? 6 months post-Bostonburg, tensions cooled though scars remained visible. D.C. courthouse upgraded security, judges traveled more cautiously. Law schools nationwide revised syllabi, adding discussion, what constitutes judicial accountability amid public pressure? Judge Boasberg never reclaimed his position. Technically still federal judge, he operated behind scenes, consulting, writing papers, speaking quietly at universities under confidentiality rules. His name became case study rather than identity. One rainy afternoon, he addressed second-year law students in university conference room. They anticipated bitterness, perhaps subtle Bondi criticism. Instead, they received reflection. "I didn't violate law," he acknowledged, "but overlooked people outside legal realm, those watching. That was my error." A student raised hand. "Would you approach it differently?" Boasberg offered slight laugh. "I'd proceed slower, not softer, just more thoughtfully." Pam Bondi meanwhile became household name again, not through scandal or literature but reshaping dialogues around judges and public confidence. That fall she toured nationally, addressing law enforcement summits, policy forums, universities where protesters lined walkways. At Austin event, young man directly questioned, "Do you believe you damaged judiciary?" She answered unflinchingly, "No. I reminded them whom they serve." He didn't debate, simply contemplated. This represented Bondi's genuine talent, not forcing agreement but ensuring questions lingered. In Cincinnati suburb, elderly Carol Jenkins watched recorded Bondi Fox interview, The Catalyst. She'd followed every development, not from political interest but having once lost family court case wondering if judges heard ordinary citizens. She paused playback, whispering, "Finally someone said it." Her daughter didn't respond. Though disagreeing with Bondi, she couldn't deny one fact: more people discussed justice than ever before. That mattered. Chief Justice Roberts remained background after his ABA address. No new declarations, no interviews, yet actions communicated. He approved comprehensive review of judicial training on ethics, transparency, community engagement. It didn't generate headlines but transformed practices. Judges began hosting previously rare town halls, writing columns explaining decision processes, not justifying but clarifying. In Phoenix, federal judge opened monthly public sessions, not for trials but questions from people unfamiliar with legal systems. She answered without legal jargon. One attendee remarked afterward, "I didn't agree with her, but understood her." That's new. Ultimately, Bondi never pursued Boasberg's impeachment. Unnecessary, point established clearly, sharply, permanently. Critics labeled her dangerous, supporters called her courageous. She described herself differently, accountable. Perhaps that represented the lesson. Perhaps the narrative concerned neither heroes nor villains but discomfort, asking difficult questions publicly, even without tidy answers. Months later, Bondi and Roberts accidentally encountered each other in Baltimore hallway during National Judicial Symposium. Both attended separate panels. Bondi nodded, Roberts hesitated before reciprocating. That was all. Not reconciliation, not forgiveness, just two figures who stood opposite sides of something transcending themselves. The Bondi-Boasberg-Roberts saga wasn't about destroying reputations but addressing wavering public trust and institutional responsibilities when silence no longer suffices. So question remains, who monitors guardians when guardians stop monitoring themselves? Consider this, because someday spotlight might shine not upon judges but someone resembling you. If this story resonated, subscribe for more real-world narratives asking difficult questions while rejecting simplistic answers.